Yeah,
really good.
You can have a great idea and just but don't yeah, the people what we say yeah, so the coolest idea you need some
All right, do we have some ideas more or less? Yeah. Let's finish some ideas. Anyway. All right, so we have some ideas. Anybody want to shout out their favorite idea for what would be a good thing that's great for innovation in innovative environments? What do you need? Somebody yeah, you.
Experienced people?
Experienced people help, right? Although I might counter that argument. Yes, I would say yes. Anybody else?
Playground.
Playgrounds, right? Fun places to be, right? Things where you can get out of your shell. What else?
Balls. Balls.
Say again? Balls.
Yeah.
Balls, like bouncy balls, playing balls, like so fun environments. Okay, or you mean like maybe the accent thing, I'm sorry.
you need to be willing to do it.
Okay. So
Courage.
you did mean guts, okay. Cojones, you seem like you Muy bien. Okay, so we're getting along those lines, right? So what are some things? Yeah. Different people, right? A diverse group of people. That's fantastic. Okay, so some bad things, some things you don't want to see in your environment.
Resistance to change.
Perfect. Resistance to change. I like it. Who else? Pessimism, right? Right? Perfect. What else? Passion. You don't want to see passion in an innovative environment. I think I'm going to go with I believe you mean yes, the things you want to find. Yes. No, but that's good. Passion. I love it.
People that are willing to give you their opinions. It's really great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So opinion and feedback. Yeah. Last one.
That's little boxes from the office, the most of the office comes to US.
The little box from the
Little
office.
boxes. You work in a little box.
So cramped environments, hidden, no sight, you can't see outside, right? Actually, one of the groups that was just presenting was talking about spaces where you could go and relax and hopefully facilitate the work environment, right? So this is just an exercise. Obviously, you can laugh at the American culture. I know that we have our own issues and that we do innovation well, though. So do you guys recognize any of these companies as being innovative? Google, right?
Amazon.
Anybody else? Actually, I was told, so Southwest, I know is an American Airlines, but there's actually a guy on Southwest Airlines that goes and he wraps the security and safety protocols, and I've heard there's somebody here that beatboxes, so I might have to find you who you are, beatboxer, and I want to hear you do that later if we have extra time, but we are running out of time. But yes, so these companies all sort of probably have in some ways places where they can relax, places where they can, can get excited about things, they can go talk to people, they can get feedback. Apple, I've actually heard it's an innovative company, I agree, but they have very kind of stringent work ethics, but maybe constraints, right? As we've all found, 24 hours at the time, very big constraint, and might definitely help create innovation. So we're going to go through quickly some different things here in terms of environments and cultures that support innovation. What company are we missing here?
Intel.
I want to see if anybody's paying attention, but okay. So we're going to go on to the next slide. So one of the things that I found in my story is hierarchy, right? And this is not my slide, I didn't come up with it, but it demonstrates the point that hierarchy is a real killer of innovation. And in my experience, so when I told you I had issues trying to get that course launched, right? So the UPM is a very big technical school and it has a lot of different things going on. But it's also a public university. And when I said I wanted to go teach this course to other people in Madrid and other parts of Spain and potentially other parts of Europe, we got a huge brick wall. All right? And it was because they could maintain competitiveness. They wanted to, you're talking to our enemy, our competitors, right? I'm like, we're all in the same world of education, right? So how can you say that education is competing with one another? I'm sure for resources and that sort of thing, but I'm from UC Berkeley. It's a public school, and it competes with MIT and Stanford and all sorts of other engineering schools that are really, really, really private and expensive. So I don't take that as an excuse. So hierarchy is the death of innovation, because you guys all have to feel comfortable when you go out into the workforce or create your own companies that you can tell people at the top or have some sort of way to say, hey, this I think would be a great idea for our company, internally, externally, whatever. And I hope Intel has some sort of way to facilitate that. And I'm sorry I'm going to rush through things. I know we're in a hurry. Anybody know what team this is? Thank you, Getafe. And why does anybody think I might have put this particular team on the board as opposed to other two teams that are very famous here in Spain?
Because they take risks.
They take risks. Getting there. Yes, they do take risks, but what else?
Because it's smaller than other teams from Madrid.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. It's a small team, right? And compared to Intel, what are small businesses that you guys are working on? Startups, right? So you got to believe, and the thing that I've noticed, if you ask anybody, you ask somebody from Cordoba, Ken Seegers, like who do you follow? They'll tell you that they follow Barca or Madrid. And I'm like, come on guys, follow your own team. Go for the, this is your home team. So I always rooted for Getafe or Atletico de Madrid whenever I went to these matches with my friends, and they got so mad at me. So, especially if Getafe won. That actually happened, I think, last year. So you got to be willing to take risks, and you got to be able to fight for the underdog. That's one thing that I've really seen here in Spain, that they don't typically fight for the underdog. And that's a huge benefit that Americans have in that environment, because we're always encouraged to try and do something new, and we're supported that way. So remember, think about all these things I'm telling you in the context of where you are innovating, whether it's your country, in Spain, in the United States, and these are all things that you have to be aware of. So turn every problem into an opportunity, right? So my first products that I made exclusively in Spain to create jobs in Spain, again, I didn't sell that many, cost me €4.40 each. Oof, it's expensive. Now I bought a 3D printer, which I think is really cool. Anybody who wants to talk to me about 3D printing afterwards, I would probably talk your ear off. And you'll regret having asked me. But now I can make these for less than 50 cents, and I sell them for €10 each with the tripod. Not that one. So anyhow, turn problems and opportunities. And what else can you do with 3D printing? What is the one really cool thing about 3D printing? Anybody have any ideas?
You create your own thing.
Create your own thing. Super customized. So now, because I also have a few customers, I can cater to my customers, offer better customer service, and that turns a problem into an opportunity. So think about where you are in your country. Think about what things might be inhibiting you from innovating, and use that as some sort of way to be competitive. So we talked a lot about spaces, right? We talked about the guys and the startup that you guys are trying to build in terms of having green spaces on roofs. This is a typical office at the IDEO Design Consulting firm in San Francisco. Does it look like there's any organization in any of this? Maybe. And what they're doing with this, and IDEO has written 2 books, actually 3 books, all about innovation, the art of innovation, the 10 faces of innovation. I've read them all. And what this is really what they're calling their cool spaces, right? Places to feel comfortable at work. Google's well known for this kind of thing. Google has a slide that goes down from the second story to the first story. I've been there. I haven't been on the slide. It was, I think, broken at the time or something. Anyway, they're CS people, not mechanical engineers, right? So anyhow, so cool spaces, right? Other things we have to do, we have to have things like tech boxes. I don't know, did you guys do any prototyping in your 24-hour session at all? Some people? Okay. Like, you got to have things to get your hands on things. That was my big problem here in Europe, is like, and nobody touches anything. Now, I'll give you guys credit. I'll give Europeans credit. That if you wanted to do calculus on the board, you'd probably smoke me. I totally agree. But maybe, like, I'd come across people in the best technical school in Madrid, and they didn't know how to use a screwdriver. I was like, this is crazy. So these tech boxes, you go through them, and they help inspire ideas. Maybe one of you making more of the Caterpillar project, maybe you would have seen some sort of thing that was similar you could have used in a tech box and get inspiration. So if you look at my desk, it's full of weird things that are printed or whatever. And again, this is something that you have in your environment. If your office tells you, no, we can't have disorganization in our office, you're not going to be able to have this sort of thing to get inspired ideas, right? Now you're like, fine, Chris, easier said than done. Let's have a shared, open environment. Share your ideas, collaborate with people. Easier said than done. These are all my business ideas. They're available at handsonrapidinnovation.com. Did I forget the .com? Oh, no, I did forget the .com. So .com, it's a .com, I swear. My-ideas. And you can download all my ideas. You can talk about the ones I'm most passionate about. Here's my 5-star ratings. Here are the different things that, in terms of ease of implementation, what kind of things you need, Arduinos. I'm obviously sort of in the mobile, mechanical engineering, tech space. But some of these things, Race for Awareness, which I think was on my bio, that is a nonprofit we got started back in 2010. The Buddy Gripper, it was originally called like the Solo Pod or something. I don't know, I changed it. Look, 2010. If I would have had any kind of time to do any of this stuff, I would have had maybe a little bit better of a market success. But anyhow, go there, you can download all these things, and if any of you wants to try to solve any of those problems and take one of my ideas, fantastic. Just let me know, because I'll buy your product, because these were all problems I had at one point, or I thought would be a problem that other people in the market had. So I want to leave you guys with something in terms of environments and in terms of what we talk about in the spirit of our organization, Hands-On Rapid Innovation, is to get hands-on, right? So if you see some sort of environment that in your workplace, or if you're the CEO or the founder of your company and you're creating a workplace for other people who are going to be working for you, create spaces that are fun to be in. Don't let hierarchy get in the way, right? Don't just like have this clean, clear-cut, cubicle office that, the janitors come in at 5 p.m. and you have to be sitting in your seat and all these other things. We get yelled at in our office in Madrid that we have because it's a shared co-working space. We got guitars in there. We're making noise. And a lot of people come in and yell at us. But we're like, you know what, dude? This is how we do it. This is how it's done in Silicon Valley. And until you show me another model that works better, I'm going to follow with what I know. But I'm also very open to other ideas. Well, the quality of life here in Spain and Europe is very good in terms of the lifestyle. Obviously, I think that we're turning problems into opportunities. So, from a business perspective, you have low attrition rates in your companies if you hire Spanish people because they don't want to really move away. You also have low-cost designers and low-cost engineers because, unfortunately, the salaries that engineers can demand in this country are low. So, I don't bash Europe at all. In fact, I've stayed here. I've overstayed my welcome here. So anyhow, but get hands-on. So go in there and try something. And especially in the spirit of our hands-on rapid innovation, the rapid innovation cycle, test these things. Just say, hey, boss A, cool boss A, we want to do an experiment within our company. We think that if we had one cool space that had beanbag chairs and a latte machine, I think we'd have some cool stuff going on, and maybe we'd have a few more innovative ideas, right? Or maybe you have a solution to make your company run a little bit better in your group. Can we test this for a week? You know what I mean? And then take data. That's the other whole thing about our process is like, we don't really necessarily care about profits and, cash flows. Yeah, then you'll get to that. But in the innovation stage, when you're actually getting something that would work, solve a problem, and then see if you can't define a quick solution that you can test and take data on. So, and this picture here, I have these guys here because they did a hands-on experiment where they had to make tapas, but they had no idea what ingredients they would get. And then they had to sell them to the people in the front row who were brave enough to eat them after a bunch of sweaty engineers were touching all the food. But anyhow, they came up with a lot of different things they didn't know that they could create because they were just stuck in a kind of a tough situation. So I know you guys have to be judged, and you guys have to win, and you guys are all winners. But that's my story, and so what will yours be? And that's it.
Great presentation. I hope you all learned something. We are just waiting now from the judges to come in, so you have a few seconds to grab a drink if you want, and we'll start.
Siempre estamos aprendiendo. Muchas gracias. Yeah, cool. Yeah, the tripod sucks, man. It's like, anyway, very cool.